Day 6. Let's take a listen to some of what he had to say to our correspondent. Okay, I seem not to have that right now. I'll work on that for later on. Felix also said he's been facing threats since the deaths of his relative.
It happened. Nobody has ever come to me or to the family. I'm in the village. Nobody has ever come. We were worried of burying him because we don't have enough due to the mortuary bill that he cannot read high on me, both the state to both the local government to both the federal. Nobody has come. The police has not invited me or nada anything. Nobody has ever come for engagement or anything or to ask me how your brother died. Nobody has ever come.
And well, here's what he said previously.
The very August, nobody has come back. They say they will go to local government. The chairman of Abuja said that he will support for the burial. Since then, he told us that we should let him know in time so that him himself can prepare himself. So since then, we have never seen anything yet. He later said that he should the wife name for the local government. Since then, we have never seen.
Okay. Well, on his part, Odinaka Godspound, brother of another victim of election violence in Ahoda West LGA, so Godspound, said the family has not received any form of response from security agencies. Odinaka said his brother will be buried alongside their mother in August.
I'm even afraid of my life now, like what is happening in my place. I'm even afraid of my life. Sometimes I don't even sleep in the house. Sometimes because of the problem, what happens? Sometimes I don't know what to say, okay? Even right now, sometimes I cannot even sleep in the house. Sometimes I cannot even stay in the village. Yes, something from here and there. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. I have nobody. I have nobody. I have nobody. What would I meet? What would I tell? I kept it on the 6th of May. That is the burial day.
And all of this happened not because we had a tsunami. No. All of this has happened not because we had an earthquake. No, we didn't have that. Not because of a cyclone. No, not because of some natural disaster. No, it wasn't that either. No, it's not because we had pestilence or we had famine. No. Or some epidemic that claimed lots of lives or pandemic. Nothing of that nature. All of this, people killed, families trying to sort themselves out to bury their loved ones, persons receiving death threats, not knowing what to do with their lives, unable to sleep in their own homes. All of this has happened and is happening just because we held elections. That's the reason we held elections. That happens in many other countries of the world. And some days, some of those countries, on those days are like any other day. People are going about their business. They're going to work. They're maybe doing lunch break or whenever they have some time. They go to a polling unit. They cast their vote. It's a normal day. It's almost like any other day. But here, we shut down the airways. We shut down borders. Nobody can move anywhere. You can't. If you breathe too hard, you might. Somebody might pick you up for breathing too hard or too fast. And then we kill people along the line. Just for effect, for good effect, we kill some people as well. What can we do? What can we do to? What can we do? What should we do? What must we do to ensure violence-free elections in Nigeria? We'll take a look at this. I'd like to get your take on this. Your submissions in the 4 o'clock hour after the business news. That takes us to 5 o'clock. We've got the news update coming up at 5 p.m. After that, here's a story from Premium Times. Organ trafficking. Senate asks UK government to pardon Ekweremadu. The Nigerian Senate has appealed to the government of the UK to pardon its member, Ike Kurimadu, who was found guilty of organ trafficking in that country. This was a sequel to a motion moved by Chukwuka Utazi during plenary on Wednesday. The appeal comes as the UK court is set to announce sentence on Kurimadu, his wife Beatrice, and the Nigerian doctor Obina Obeta on 5th of May. And that's tomorrow, by the way. Now, they were found guilty of conspiracy of organ trafficking in March by the Westminster Magistrate Court, an offence that contravenes the Modern Slavery Act. Kurimadu, former Deputy Senate President, represents Enugu West Senatorial District in the current Senate. He was arrested in June last year for bringing a young Nigerian to the UK with a view to harvesting his organs to treat his daughter Sonia, who is suffering from kidney disease and needed a transplant. Now, Utahs in his motion expressed worries the Senate had been silent on the ordeal of Kurimadu and demanded the Senate should appeal to the UK government considering the relationship between the two countries that temper justice on Kurimadu. Senate President Ahmed Lawan therefore urged the British government to temper justice on the former Deputy Senate President, saying the sentencing, if required, should not be too harsh. He expressed disappointment with the situation, noting that it is unfortunate a great man and a great leader like Kurimadu will be going through such an ordeal. He noted that he had personally sent a letter to the UK government seeking clemency for Kurimadu on the organ trafficking offence he's found guilty of. Quote, "It should be considered that this is the first time that Kurimadu will be facing this crime. We promise to be law-abiding inside and outside our country. The British should look into the sentencing. It should not be too harsh." So, we'll discuss this in the 5 o'clock hour. Remember, sentencing is tomorrow. Should the UK government, should the UK legal system temper justice with mercy because of the great man, according to Ahmed Lawan, that Kurimadu is, or because he hasn't done something like this before? This is the first time he's been found guilty of organ trafficking. I'll have to get your take on this in the 5 o'clock hour after the news update. We got headlines at 5:30 p.m. The major news is up at 6. A review of all of this afterwards during the open season segment, including my side comments, till about 7 o'clock when Hard Facts wraps up today, as is customary. The sports gang are in afterwards for extra time. So that's what we're discussing on the show today. Feel free to join in once again via the platforms I did mention just a while ago. But we'll keep things going now with today's side comments. Let's see, random stories came across earlier as I checked out the news, and some thoughts on these random stories. Now, President-elect Bola Tinubu believes that taking care of the welfare of judges is another way of fighting corruption. The President-elect said this during the commissioning of the retired Justice Iche Ndu Court building today. He said any government that does not want to compromise justice should pay proper attention to the welfare of judges. Do I have time to play the President-elect's comment? Because I've got a commercial break coming up right now. Let's see. Do I? You know what? I think I'll go for the break. And then when I return, I'll play back the President-elect's comments on that. I do have some thoughts on his comments. When I return, stay tuned. Hard Fact to be back in a bit. Here in Port Harcourt, the number one talk station. I'm Dial. Let's talk. Side comments are still on. And before the break, this from off our news, the president-elect Bola Tinubu believes that taking care of the welfare of judges is another way of fighting corruption. He said this during the commissioning of a court building and said government that does not want to compromise justice should pay proper attention to the welfare of judges. Here's some of what he had to say.
I take a different angle to what Wike has done here today. It's fighting corruption.
To pay attention to their welfare. If one fear dispensation of justice, you don't want them to operate in hazardous conditions.
This is the way to fight corruption.
Let's think value for value. We don't want our judges to play foul, to compromise justice. Not just the books, but do something. I promise you, we're going to review all of this in a policy think tank.
Yeah, another perspective to this, Mr. President-elect, another perspective to this is that, in quotes, taking care of judges, in quotes, taking care of the judiciary. And by the way, what I mean by taking care here is, I'll continue shortly, but a slight digression. What I mean by taking care, in quotes here, is lining up judges and an excellency handing over car keys to them. That is a way of taking care of judges. Building an estate and lining up judges and handing over keys to houses to them. That is another way of, quote, taking care of the judges. Yes, it is. Yes, that's one way of taking care. Or asking them to collect, was it maybe 100 million or 150 million in lieu of the house? That's a way of taking care of the judges. So some other perspective is that could also corrupt the judiciary, this act of taking care of the judges, because whoever pays the piper dictates the tune. So there is a way that judges can be taken care of without them lining up and people giving them money or giving them houses, and then the chief judge will have to thank His Excellency on behalf of all the judges for the good works that he's doing in their lives, how they have never experienced something like this before. Oh God, who knew that we could drive new SUV? Oh, who knew that we could own houses? We thank His Excellency for this wonderful thing that He has done in our lives. We have never seen it like this before. This must be the handwork of God, using His Excellency to work miracles in our lives. Oh, really? I'm sure the judiciary knows that it needs court buildings, or it needs to refurbish court buildings, or that judges need cars, or judges need houses, and the judiciary knows this. And the judiciary can provide this for itself if we set the proper framework and structures in place. And the judiciary will be properly taken care of by the state, not by an excellency or an honorable. Now, Tinubu also said his administration will ensure judicial reform. Earlier, Governor Nyesom Wike stressed the need for attitudinal change and the maintenance of public facilities. The governor charged the chief judge of the state to ensure proper maintenance of the building. Now, if the judiciary had built or refurbished this building itself, or built a court building, itself, I'm sure that a governor would not be telling the chief judge that they should make sure they maintain it. People should make sure you maintain this thing. People should make sure you maintain it. That would not happen. But the charge to maintain the building is because His Excellency built it for them. So it's sort of like the governor doing a favor for the judiciary. See, I've given you a building now. Make sure you take care of this building. You people should make sure you take care of this building, or else. Need stipends from the executive. No. The judiciary should not be expecting alawi from the executive. Saying, month has ended, or please, people should check. Has Excellency has he wired the money yet? Has His Excellency sent Azza? Has His Excellency sent Azza yet? Let's check, please. Let's check. We need to maintain this building though. Excellency, you see, you people need to maintain. We have to maintain this thing, Excellency comes now. If there's a case, Excellency comes. He won't like as this thing is leaking. He won't like that. This AC is not working well. Excellency will be angry. And then somebody else will say, hey, how are we going to do it now, Chief Judge? Excellency has not sent Azza yet for this month. He has not sent Azza. How are we going to fix the building now? How are we going to repair the building now? These are the problems that we are facing now. So, we can take care of the judiciary and ensure it does its job properly without fear or favor. And it's not necessarily by taking care of. No. But by default, the judiciary should be taken care of. The same way by default, the executive is taken care of. And one way we can do that is ensure absolute autonomy of the judiciary. Likewise, the legislature. Absolute autonomy is what they need. Not waiting for Azar from Excellency, or waiting for a stipend or Alawi to maintain building. No, that's not it. That is not the proper way to take care of the judiciary. Reports say gunmen suspected to be cultists last night shot dead Matthew Ebenezer, president of a Barikpo community in Akko Kingdom in Ahoda East local government area of Rivers State. Record that suspected cultists had on February 12 killed Mrs. Chigbe Wejim lawyer after she was taken away from her house in a Barikpo community. And confirming this to our correspondent, Public Relations Officer of Akko Youth Congress in Ahoda East, LGA, Matthew Ebenezer, was among those fighting against cultism and other criminal activities in the community. He said over 36 persons have been killed in different communities in the area. Let's take a listen to what Ebenezer had to say on this development.
Comrade Matthew Ebenezer was shot dead yesterday night in his hometown, in his father's compound. Matthew is not somebody that condones any illegality. He's somebody that have been standing firm, fighting against all these cultists, against insecurity in his community. And I believe maybe that is one of the two things that might have brought to his death. When you talk of killings in both Ahoda East and Ahoda West, it has become a usual praise. Every day people does not sleep with their two eyes. Every day we record killings. As of last month, April, we had about 36 recorded.
There is no doubt in my mind that one of the biggest problems we have in Rivers State, especially security-wise, has to be the activities of these nefarious criminals who, once again, for reasons I don't understand, security agencies and even the media prefers to refer to them as cultists. That's one of the biggest challenges that we have in Rivers State, and it appears that not enough is being done to deal with this horrible menace. I've said severally, and I will repeat again, on this matter, a problem that's not dealt with now and is ignored in the hope that by ignoring it to go away, will never go away. It's right now they are killing 2 people, 5 people, 36 people. Wow, and everybody is just the police will say they are investigating. Even on the news on this particular matter, spokesperson of the Rivers State Police Command, SP Grace Iringikoko, confirmed the incident and said the police has identified the gang leader, but the kingpin and other culprits are yet to be arrested. Of course, no surprises there. It's going to blow up. It's going to blow up in our faces. Remember when we gave them amnesty some years ago? Remember we gave them amnesty, we held celebrations everywhere. There was a lot of pomp and pageantry, and some people would gather in some place, and a criminal will step out in their presence in front of everybody claiming to be a cult leader. A criminal who has killed people, he has maimed people, he has destroyed lives and property will come out holding a dang gun. And then some of his co-conspirators, co-criminals like himself will step out as well and start dancing in front of people. And then he will drop one dang gun. Somebody will drop one pump action. And they will drop 3 locally made pistols. And they will say that they have received amnesty. They are dropping their weapons now. We did that some years ago. It happened in several communities in Rivers State. And we said that, they have shit their sword. And now, Hardly a week goes by, you don't hear that cultists have killed somebody somewhere, and we're going back to those. It seems we are going back to those glory days. I hope that we don't get back to the era when school children will get to their school and they will find a decapitated head in front of their school. We had a time like that in River State. I hope we're not gradually descending into that abyss again. But if we continue along this trajectory, it's inevitable that's what's going to happen. All right, I hope we deal with it. I can only hope. We can talk about it. But, we can talk about it. And talk we must. Let's see. Was there any other matter that significantly caught my attention on the news today? Let's see. Governorship candidate of the APC in Rivers State, Tonya Cole, says only a compelling offer will make him withdraw his election petition from the tribunal. Cole said this today on Arise TV. The Rivers APC candidate said the families of those who were killed during the election and the ordinary people of Rivers State must be considered as part of the offer to him. Let's take a listen to some of what Tonya Cole had to say. Let's see. Here we go.
The tribunal knows what it's meant to do, and we have judges who are of impeccable character standing there. I will be the governor of Rivers State. That much I'm certain about. Now, if somebody is offering me something that is different from this, it has to be fairly compelling to assuage the lives of those who died, to assuage those who were maimed, to assuage those who felt that their mandate was totally stolen.
Okay, what exactly? I wish Mr. Tonya Cole had given an example of what this offer could have been. This offer that would assuage these persons, assuage those persons, and assuage the other people as well. I don't know. I don't know what the offer could be. I mean, if you're going for an election and you say that you're confident that you won the election, and you say that somebody else stole your mandate, and stole the mandate of the people, and then we're talking about offers. What kind of offer would that be, really? Once again, I wish you would give examples, one or two examples of what this compelling offer could be that would make him drop, his bid to get justice. Because this is supposedly about getting justice. The whole point of going to the court or the tribunal, in this case, is to get justice. So what is the compelling offer that would now bring justice? Are we saying that we can sacrifice justice for compelling offer? Whatever compelling offer means, right? Because once again, I have no idea what compelling offer would imply in this case. So I wish he had given an example of what compelling offer is. But his comments are somewhat suggestive, highly suggestive, that we can sacrifice. Once again, I perceive the only reason the person will go to the tribunal is because they're trying to get justice, whatever that means for them. So if we can leave the tribunal matter alone for compelling offer, that suggests strongly, supposedly, allegedly, that we can sacrifice justice for compelling offer. Okay, all right. So compelling offer it is then. Compelling offer over justice, supposedly, allegedly. All right, I do have to wrap up. Today's side comments right now, and also yesterday it was on the news yesterday. The police stormed the waterfront, Maiwan Diobu, and all of that, and lots of persons were arrested. We got other reports from residents over there saying that these persons are not criminals or cultists, and that already they're asking for money for them to bail themselves, and that somebody's phone was stolen, some police officer or something of that nature. I hope this is not the case. I hope that the IG of not the IG, the CP would is it Okon Efiong would look into this, and ensure that justice is served, and that these people, especially those who may have been arrested wrongfully, are not made to bail to call their people to come and bail them. And if that's happening, I'm sure that this is just the handiwork of just a few bad eggs a few bad eggs in the Rivers State Police Command. The Rivers State Police Command does not stand for such injustice. I'm sure of that. The Rivers State Police Command will not stand for any injustice. It's all about protecting the rights of citizens and residents of Rivers State. CP, there are reports that some of your bad eggs, I haven't confirmed this, that some of your bad eggs are doing what bad eggs do. Let's look into this and ensure that the bad eggs don't spoil the good eggs, even though there are concerns that the entire poultry is rotten already anyways. So all right, I think I'll leave the side comment on that note. I have to press on now. I've got the rants coming up. I do. Good afternoon, Daya. AZA means account number, so the judges would be the ones to send AZA to His Excellency to wire money. Oh, thank you. Oh, thanks for the clarity. But can't the expression also be used, in terms of somebody sending money to you, somebody sending you AZA? I don't know. Well, thanks for clarifying that. Anyway, so I go for a quick break. When I return, today's rant comes up. Please stay with us.
Politics, business, lifestyle, economy, social events, all of these and more make us what we are, human beings. Where else do you start your conversations but on 90.3 Nigeria Info?
A clean surrounding is a collective effort.
Diseases could be avoided
with good hygiene practice. Be more responsible with how you dispose waste products. The environment will be better looking without litter and exposed garbage. We love our city clean. This message is from 92.3 Nigeria Info.
And Diode.
Hello and welcome back. It is Hard Factor Nigeria Info here in Port Harcourt. I'm Dio. I'd like to just a bit. There's something in my mind of expressing some thoughts on it. I'd like to get your take on mine till 4 p.m. You probably have heard this saying, in the past or at some point. I don't know exactly, or I don't remember exactly how the saying goes, but it goes something like this, something to this effect. Now, if there is an insane person who is shouting at you in a public space, and then you stand in front of that person, that insane person, or that person is not mentally alert or mentally straight, and you're shouting back at that person as well, bystanders, onlookers, spectators will have a strong tendency to presume or maybe even conclude that you are insane as well. Is the strong, And by the way, what you're shouting about might be even something logical, might be something sensible. The insane person may have wronged you, so you are in the right. You have the right of way, contextually speaking, quote unquote. You were the one who were wronged, but the rest of the world knows this person is insane, and then you stand there and you're shouting at the person as well. It could be presumed that you're not mentally stable either. So the point of that, reminding you of that saying is, even when you're fighting a good fight, you can fight a good fight in the wrong way. You can fight a good fight in a way that will put you on the wrong. You can fight a good fight in a senseless way. And referring to the analogy I gave a while ago, you can fight a good fight in an insane way, such that people will start to wonder if you are okay. Yeah, we knew what you set out for initially, and we were healing you on, say, in a way that will make us start to think, oh, wait, what's going on here? Is this person okay? Here's an example, a story here from this day newspaper. NLC disrupts airport flights, leaving passengers stranded in Abuja, Lagos, Owerri. Here's the story. The Nigeria Labour Congress and Trade Union Congress yesterday disrupted airport flight operations and stopped the airline from taking off to any destination from its Lagos operational base, claiming to be engaging in an industrial action in Imo State against Governor Hope Uzodinma. Now, that first paragraph tells you a lot and leaves you perplexed, and it left me perplexed. Now, they disrupted air peace flight, label NLC TUC, from taking off to any destination from its Lagos base, from the Lagos airport. Why did they do this? Did they have a problem with Airpeace? Was Airpeace treating its staff poorly? Was Airpeace owing its staff? Was Airpeace not paying its staff? Was Airpeace engaging in human trafficking or slavery or anything of that nature? No. The reason is that they're engaging in this action in Imo State against Governor Hope Uzodinma. Back to the story. Now, these investigations did not indicate any interface between Airpeace and NLC before disruption, but Labour sources said the Congress chose to disrupt Airpeace operations so that a strike action in Imo State would have a national impact, as Airpeace operates over 80 flights daily. So Labour has a problem with the Imo State governor. And to express their disaffection with the Imo State governor, they decided to disrupt Airpeace activities nationally. Now, the airline, in a statement titled "Deliberate Massive Disruption of Airpeace Operations by NLC and TUC, Airpeace Fees Unprotected," disclosed that the NLC and TUC officials stormed the Lagos airport, took over our counter, disrupted all our operations because of an alleged misunderstanding they had with Governor Hope Uzodinma of Imo State. They had written us yesterday saying that no flight should be operated into Owerri today because, as alleged, Governor Uzodinma disrupted their Mayday activities few days ago. The airline further disclosed, Airpeace has no affiliation whatsoever with the Imo State governor or government or Governor Uzodinma. Our duty and commitment are to the Nigerian flying public that have paid us. We have a contract with them to deliver. This morning they carried out a selective attack on Airpeace, took over our counters, disrupted our operations. While they were doing this, another Nigerian airline was allowed to operate into and out of Owerri. This is where it gets even messier. Now, they said don't fly to Owerri. Don't do this. We are fighting Governor Uzodinma. But another airline, a Nigerian airline, was allowed to fly in and out of Owerri. Airpeace recalled that it was not the first time the NLC or unions will be attacking the airline for issues that have no bearing with the airline. There was a time they attacked Airpeace because they were protesting minimum wage to the federal government. While minimum wage was 18,000 naira then, Airpeace's minimum wage was 50,000 naira. We do not understand why Airpeace and aviation should be selected for this kind of treatment. If they have a grasp with Governor Hope Uzodinma, that should be taken to Imo State. Why are they not stopping road transport workers who are going into Imo State? Aviation borders on national security, and we have been made a laughing stock in the world. Who is going to pay Airpeace over 400 million lost today and in the coming days? I don't know. And quite frankly, I think at this stage it's somewhat irrelevant whatever concerns NLC and TUC have with Governor Hope Uzodinma. Whatever those issues are, what concerns the Airpeace with this? You say don't fly into Imo State. Another airline was flying into Imo State. You did not disrupt them. You don't just stop Airpeace flights that want to fly to Imo State. You disrupt Airpeace flights to every other part of the country because you have beef with Governor Hope Uzodinma of Imo State. It's unbelievable, really. It's just mind-boggling. It defies logic. And in some interview that the Airpeace boss granted a national TV station, he also alleged that some person, one of the Labour persons, threw a spanner into an airplane engine. And in his words, that's an air disaster or accident waiting to happen. Imagine if nobody had seen that and the engines had been started. Imagine the immense loss. Imagine the possible catastrophe that could have resulted in. And all of this, not because Airpeace is engaging in human trafficking or slavery, not because when staff of Airpeace resume at work, Alan Oyema asked them to lie down in his office and then he uses the cane to give all of them 50 strokes each before they resume work every day. No, not because of that. And that doesn't happen, by the way, because they have an issue with the Imo State governor. And to crown it all, as if that's not bad enough, security operatives were at the airport and they stood by while all of this happened. I'm tired of talking about security agencies in this country, really. I mean, what if it was a young man at the airport using a smartphone? They probably would have asked him to step aside and they want to check his phone. It's unbelievable, really. It's unbelievable. the NLC, Labour in Nigeria should be careful. They're fast losing whatever element of credibility that they have with the Nigerian public. And what they should be doing right now is to rebuild that confidence, not making it worse by engaging in unbelievable childish tantrums. On that note, I end my rant. Thanks for listening. Hope you went board. Let's get your take on mine. The line's open. Call 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003 or 0007. We're live on facebook.com/Nigeria InfoPH. Also, you may join the conversation on Twitter. That's is as well at Nigeria InfoPH. Once again, your thoughts on today's round to welcome. Call 0817-923-0002 or 3 or 7. How's fact to welcome?
Yes, sir. Now, when I heard that, I didn't know the. In fact, I'm still finding it difficult to get the full adjective to qualify how I felt. So for me, I think the best thing is Mr. Onyema headed to the court. They need to just talk to this guy. And this thing happened on the day this same man was sacrificing his airline and his crew to rescue Nigerians who are stranded who are stranded at Sudan. Just imagine that happened. Honestly, my brother, it's like you said about the policemen. Your security men stood by there. The same way they stood by watching our ballot box. Thank you, Dio. Unfortunate, really.
Quite so. And I really should have mentioned that. This is the same Air Peace, by the way, that has provided a plane to go airlift Nigerians who are stranded in Sudan. While the entire Nigerian government could not provide that kind of a plane. I think the aircraft, the Nigerian government, the entire Nigeria as a country, the aircraft we sent there could only airlift, I think, 80 persons. The aircraft Air Peace sent there was able to airlift over 200 persons. Hello, Hanfak, to welcome.
Hello, Dio. Good day.
Hello, go ahead.
What is my name? Calling from Owerri. So you said Labour is fast losing their confidence. Before now, I've already passed vote of no confidence on them. They have already, before now, they have failed. The present administration or the present leaders of Labour have failed. You understand? This is not the way. This is not what we expected from them. It's not that I expected anything that good or from them, but the masses looking up to them. They put off a protest that they were supposed to do. They were supposed to do against the naira distribution. And now look at imagine going as far to throw a spine into a aircraft. What if that thing explode and the whole airport got fire?
Hello, you're welcome.
Yes, Dario, good evening.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, the president-elect congratulating Governor Wike for taking care of the judges in Rivers State.
Not discussing that now. We're discussing my rant now. That was one of my side comments. The rant is what's been discussed now.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. I've got a couple of messages here. The NLP should take Labour to court for this madness. This is the type of enabling environment the government is providing. This is the type of enabling environment the government is providing for businesses to thrive. That's from Sonny. Yeah, remember yesterday? Was it yesterday or 2 days ago? A conversation on enabling environment. Femi Adesina, a presidential spokesman, was saying it's not government's job to provide jobs, but to create enabling environment. Yeah. So this is one of the enabling environments. Hello, you're welcome.
Daya, good afternoon.
All right, go ahead.
Calling from Zio. I'm not surprised, Daya. These are our leaders. They are our leaders, so they don't understand what. I don't even know where they are thinking from. And only these things can happen in Nigeria. You cannot see such a thing happen in another place. All these things happen in Nigeria. Everything that is happening, even when we in Ukraine, those people help people to go and bring people from Ukraine. Anything we are this one, they help people. Look at what they are doing. Those hopefully on them are doing mistakes. They cannot go and say and shut down the mistake. Because they are afraid of it, make them not flog them. It's a shame. Take them to court. Thank you.
The thoughts are still welcome. Still got about just over 3 minutes to go to 4 o'clock. It's quite disturbing indeed, you know. Imagine what Airpeace has lost as a company by sending its plane to Sudan to airlift stranded Nigerians. And in spite of all of this, in spite of, Labour could only repay Airpeace by going to shut down its operations. Once again, not because Airpeace flouted any labour laws in Nigeria, no, but because they have beef with Imo State Governor. It's just, it's mind-blowing. That's what it is. I really cannot comprehend the logic behind this. I don't understand how the Labour leaders who took this decision could have arrived. I mean, what information did they process? What intelligence did they gather? What kinds of conversations did they have that led to the conclusion or decision that we must go to the Lagos airport and disrupt Airpeace operations? What kind of process led to that conclusion? What? It's just There's a comment here from Moses. Moses is asking, Daniel, please, I want to ask, who bewitched us? I really, there's no bewitching here. There's no spiritual sin. When process, when you're in a place where the process or procedure is not adhered to strictly, this is the kind of things that happen. When anybody can behave anyhow, What in an anyhowness situation? These are the kinds of things that happen. In the kind of country that when you're trying to airlift your citizens who are stranded in another country, drivers will stop in the Sahara Desert and say, "No, we're not going. No, you have not paid us yet." And one of the buses will catch fire. And then they will get to border and they cannot move. You say you release money for 40 buses. We got 13 buses. And now the federal government is saying that, if we can get 4 aircraft, the entire Nigerian country cannot provide 4 large aircraft to go and airlift its own citizens. Allen Oyema and Airpeace have given one already. And yet, Labour is going to Lagos Airport to shut down the operations. And Sonny was saying something about enabling environment. This is the enabling environment that Mr. Femi Adesina was probably referring to. Enabling environment for businesses to thrive in Nigeria. Anyways, that's a wrap for now. Got the business news coming up at 4 p.m. Discussions continue after that. Do please stay with us.
Talk radio. 92.3.
Talk radio.
Number 1.